So if you're watching this, chances are you're a first-time drone buyer and you have your eyes set on the Mini 2. I've had mine for about a year and a half now, and I've even made some money off it doing like stock video on Black Box, but that's for another video. So,
hey, is that the DJI Mini 2?
It is. Who are you?
Actually, my name's Nick. I'm a first-time drone buyer. I saw those online and I'm kind of curious about them.
Awesome. Dude, I don't know where this guy came from. This is not scripted. He's not my dad. But
absolutely not.
So you want to learn more about the Mini 2, eh?
I sure do, yeah.
Yeah, sweet, dude.
Totally newbie, though. I don't know what I'm doing here. This is all new to me, so...
Awesome. You know, I'm just shooting this YouTube review, and you just happen to be asking the right guy. So, yeah, buddy, let's talk about it.
Do it. Show me the ways. Oh, and okay, so this is the size of this thing. I cannot believe how tiny this is.
Yeah.
Can I see it for a second?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, it's like super light and way smaller. I mean, the pictures online and stuff, I thought it was a lot bigger, but it is very small.
It is. And you know that? Here's a fun fact about it, man.
Yeah.
You don't even need to register it with the FAA because it's under 250 grams.
Oh, okay.
Like 55 pounds.
Okay, actually, I didn't know. Okay, because I was worried about that because I didn't want to have to screw around with registering.
Yeah, it's a pain. But, you know, I'm Part 107 certified, so this is registered. Don't come at me, FAA. But... yeah, dude. I mean, this thing is tiny, and this is how it sits when it's unfitted. You can fit it back in, as you can see, and I even picked up the special DJI bag for this, and it fits in this tiny little bag that's about this big, along with the controller, of course.
Excellent.
And I don't have any extra batteries for this personally, so yeah, I just toss it in this little bag, throw it around my shoulder, and it's just super portable and easy, which is definitely something I was looking for when I bought
same
this.
Here, actually, yeah. Like I said, I didn't think it was that small, but that is excellent. That's
yeah.
exactly what I'm looking for.
Like, I shoot with a Sony camera, of course, and so I'm a big fan of tiny kits, and the drone kind of fits that perfectly, so pretty happy with that.
All right, so this drone sounds incredible. It sounds like it's going to be right up my alley.
Yeah.
But in doing my research, can you tell me a little bit more about the image quality on this thing?
For sure. So the images... you know, this is definitely a budget-minded drone. You're looking at 12 megapixel RAW images, and they look pretty decent. It should go without saying that the images that it takes are not as good as my non-flying cameras, aka my Sony A7 III that's shooting this video right now.
Sure.
But they still look pretty damn good, especially in, like, good daylight. I found, like, at midday or, like, you know, early morning, later in the day, images are perfectly clear. There's no grain. It doesn't shoot at high ISO, stuff like that. And everything just looks great. It does struggle a little bit with, you know, contrasty highlights like a bright sky and like a dimly lit foreground. Kind of like right now, we're shooting around sunset.
Right.
This is a bad situation for it. But there is a mode that you can shoot in called AEB. It's a bracketed mode for anybody familiar with cameras. Essentially, it takes 3 different images at different settings of the same thing. And then you can stitch them together in Photoshop or Lightroom. And I've found, in my experience, I put some samples on the screen here, that, you know, like, at sunset and whatnot, you can get pretty good results using that option. So, yeah, images look good, and then if you're the type that likes to shoot super crazy panoramas, there's a couple of different integrated pano modes in here. You have standard, you know, super wide panorama. I don't use that much myself. But I do use the wide angle panorama mode because it kind of shoots down at that mill.
Okay.
So you get a bit better of a sense of scale of like the situation and like the scene that you're trying to capture.
Oh,
so
that's cool. Yeah.
So a summary of everything I just said. Images, pretty good for the price.
All right, so this thing really is like has a strong appeal to me. How about the video quality? Can it shoot in 4K?
It can, as a matter of fact. So that was a huge upgrade over the previous version of the Mini, and a big upgrade over the Mini 2 SE. You might have found that when you've been doing research. It's kind of like the cheaper version of this.
Okay.
That shoots 2.7K. This shoots 100% 4K, 100 megabytes per second bitrate, which isn't insane, but again, it does the job. In my experience, I've actually shot a lot of stock video clips. I do make a little bit of money through Black Box. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort of stock video uploading agency. That's for another video. I'll talk about that and how I make money there.
Okay.
But so yeah, the video quality is good enough to literally make money from, which should say something in itself.
Okay. Yeah.
Daytime clips, incredible. Nighttime though, just like for the photos, nighttime is where the sensor starts to struggle. You know, you're looking at a tiny sensor here that's barely bigger than like the camera on your phone.
Okay.
So in dark situations, you get a lot of grain. It gets kind of nasty. You got to upgrade to like the Mavic Mini 3 rather, or something to get that bigger sensor if you don't, you know, good low light performance. So,
okay.
Yeah, video performance, man, it's insane. I bought this thing to take photos, and now I mostly just do video, mainly because I make money off it.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
big thumbs up from me.
Yeah.
But you know, don't take it from me. I stop talking for a minute here,
Okay.
and I'll show you, aka the audience, some
Yes.
video clips here on the screen that I've taken over the last year with this thing, and you can kind of judge it for yourself and see how amazing it is.
All right, so I mean, it looks pretty easy to use. Would you say it is?
Yes, in fact, this is the controller that it comes with. This is just the smartphone controller. You can pay extra to have the screen integrated into it and whatnot.
Okay.
I chose to cheap out and just get one that I can slot my phone into. And it's super easy, to be honest with you. Like, when you first set it up, you just plug everything in. The drone connects in like 5 minutes. That's a separate video. You can look that up online. And then, like, actually flying itself is super easy. I mean, you've never flown before, you said.
No, it's the first time.
Would you like to take it for a spin and I'll tell our lovely audience here like
Yeah.
what you're doing?
I was kind of hoping you would, actually. I was hoping to fly it, at least try it out before I buy.
Sweet.
So
All right, we're gonna do that. We're gonna cut the camera here, and yeah, they fly this puppy.
let's do it.
Okay, so to fly this thing, it's actually super easy. So on the bottom of the drone, you just hit this power button twice,
Okay.
and it makes some beepy sounds,
Okay.
and then you just hit the power button on the controller twice, and then it'll connect to the DJI app. Super duper easy. You honestly
go.
cannot mess this up, to be completely honest. And then after that, you just put the drone on the ground here. If you want to step back a second,
Okay.
you make sure the app is on.
All right.
It does turn on automatically, typically when you plug your phone in. And then, yeah, and then you give it a few seconds to acquire satellites,
Okay.
which is how it, gets back to its home position if it gets lost.
Okay, makes sense. Yep.
And then you just hit this little takeoff button. And as you can hear, it's very loud when you're up close, but when it's up at 300 feet, you can
Okay.
barely hear a thing.
I got nothing.
Completely
Yeah. Barely hear
imperceptible.
it. Yep.
All right, so now we're going to go over how to actually fly this thing. So
Excellent.
you got the controller here, the drone is connected and everything. You can see the live camera feed if the camera focuses. We're just flying in the sky here.
Yep.
First thing I want to mention before you fly, obviously, these are going to be, that's up, down, left, right. This is going to be kind of like moving it forward and back.
Okay.
Like I said, just like a video game, flying a helicopter in most games.
Yeah, I love it.
Keep in mind that these do have thumbsticks you can screw in. They store on the bottom of the controller. I personally fly without thumbsticks.
Okay.
Completely personal preference. I don't know why.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get started. Like I said, this will take you up and down. So if you want to do that, I will show it on the screen here. You can see the distance, or the H icon, the height, going up and down.
Oh yeah.
And then you can also turn left and right.
All right. Oh, holy cow.
You can see the drone tilting there. Look up.
Very, very responsive.
Very responsive when you have
yeah.
good when you
Oh,
have
look
good
at
signal.
That picture quality is amazing.
Yeah, isn't that great?
I love it.
And then this, will actually move it physically forward and back.
Oh yeah. Okay, you're saying that.
So yeah, that's the actual basics
look
of
at that.
moving it.
That is so cool.
Now, there's a couple of other features that are neat here. So if you come around to the back end, you can see by his right hand there, obviously that is the take picture or video button. You can also just hit the screen to do that.
Oh, okay.
And then on this hand, right here, there's this little like square mouse looking thing that you have on a computer mouse. And that'll move the camera
yeah.
up or down.
Look at that.
So yeah, go ahead and look down.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, isn't that great? So for that, you can look up, down. You can also hit the FN key next to your left thumb. And that'll instantly flip the camera facing up or down, as you can see. So it's handy for landing and that sort of thing.
Yeah, let's do this again. Ah, there you go.
Yeah, so those are the basics there. This button right here, to the right of his thumb, that switches between photo and video. You can also do that on the screen by hitting the mode icons there.
Okay, yep.
And then last couple of things, this button, it automatically bring the drone home. That is the return to home button.
That's the one you were talking about, okay.
We don't want to hit that. Power button, obviously. And then finally, we have the flight modes right there in the dead center. We have Cine, Normal, and Spirit. You can probably guess what those are. Cinematic mode the drone flies very, very, very slowly, but the shots are stable and smooth. Normal is standard, you know. And then sport mode, it flies at about 33 miles per hour, which is insanely fast, honestly.
Yeah. Yep.
But the gimbal, like the camera, is a little bit floppy and unstable. So I usually use that for getting to places quickly. Okay, so now I have the phone screen recording. So yeah, if you just want to fly it around a little bit, we have it in sport mode right now. So it's actually extremely fast. We're going about, 33 miles per hour max.
Love it.
And then on the screen here, so this is how you access your different modes. So you can see you have photo, video, quick shots, panorama, and then you have AEB. That's the mode I talked about where you can take 3 different exposures and stitch them together in like Photoshop. Single obviously just takes a single image. Time shot, it's a timer shot, obviously.
Right.
In the video section, it's just video. There's nothing fancy about it. It just shoots video, 4K 30 FPS, as you can see on the bottom there.
Yes.
These quick shots, they're a little strange. You can keep flying straight, that's fine. These are kind of gimmicky, to be honest. The only one I've ever used is circle to circle around a target. Again, like I said, this doesn't have object tracking or obstacle avoidance, so you can just destroy your drone if you run it into something. Finally, you have the panorama modes, like I said, and yeah, if you stop the drone and you shoot a panorama, it'll take 10 to 15 different images and then stitch them together automatically. So it's actually awesome. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and take a picture by tapping that little light button there.
Okay, right there.
Yeah. Actually, you're flying pretty much right above us.
Yep.
You can see that. No, that's not the drone. That's just dust on my lens. So yeah, that's the basics of flying. Would you say it's pretty easy?
Yeah, I actually super easy. Like a total noob can do this. Absolutely, and that's me.
That's him.
First time.
He is the total noob. This stranger I met on the street.
I love this thing. It's awesome.
How'd you like it?
That thing was incredible.
Yeah, pretty easy to use, isn't it?
Super easy to use, even for a noob like me. I mean, this thing's amazing. I really like it, and it feels like a video game controller.
It does. It's like flying a helicopter in a Battlefield game.
I love it.
Honestly,
I've been there.
Yep, Pond Hawk.
This is awesome. Yes, I'm really impressed.
Yeah, the only thing that you might have noticed is the battery dropped pretty quick.
Oh, I did notice that. Yeah, it's already got dropped down
it's
a lot.
like 30% after 20-ish minutes or so, and
right.
That is then tiny flare. I mean, this drone came out a couple of years ago. The tech has advanced quite a bit since then. Mm-hmm. But you're still looking at like a 30-minute max battery life, according to DJI's marketing.
Oh.
In my own experience, I found, we live in beautiful southeastern Wisconsin here. I found in my own experience flying over like Lake Michigan, super windy conditions, you're usually going to get a little bit less. I typically get around 20-ish, depending on the conditions. And if it's super windy, you'll get even less, which brings me to my next point. The max wind resistance of the Mini 2 is about 25 miles per hour, or about 10.5 meters per second. I shouldn't admit it, but I have flown up to 30 mile per hour gusts, and I didn't have any issues, but, don't take my advice. That does increase your chance of losing your drone, having it get caught in a wind current, that sort of thing. So wind resistance, pretty good, everything considered. It's not a, Mavic 3 or like a bigger drone, but 25 mile per hour gusts, that's not bad for most days.
So during my research on drones, I noticed that this one had something called AccuSync.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I was looking at different ranges. Like, what kind of range does this little guy get?
Yeah, so AccuSync is like DJI's sort of like marketing term for their new like connection system. Mm-hmm. And DJI officially claims this drone has a range of 6.2 miles, or about 10 kilometers.
Really?
Which sounds super high.
That does, actually. Yeah, it does.
You can go spy on your neighbors. But I found in my experience, you're pretty much never going to get that, just due to signal interference.
Okay.
We're currently in kind of like a suburban area, and I've found in this area, I can do about 2.5 to 3 miles before it drops, completely drops signal.
Okay.
Whereas over Lake Michigan, clear line of sight, no interference, out in the middle of nowhere, maybe close to 5 if I'm lucky. I haven't pushed it too much because I don't want to lose my drone in, the Great Michigan Sea. That sounds like a bad time. And then finally, flying in a downtown region with skyscrapers. I put some clips on the screen here for you guys.
Excellent.
Flying downtown, there's just so much radio signal and physical objects and obstructions that you lose signal in maybe half a mile or less.
Okay.
I've had some close calls flying by skyscrapers. Where the drone is, like drop signal and it had to return to home automatically.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Speaking of which, that's actually a neat feature. Return to home. So when you take this thing off, it actually remembers its takeoff point.
Oh.
And if it loses signal or your controller battery dies, it'll actually fly back by itself, which is sick.
Oh, that
the
is really
only
cool.
caveat is that this drone does not have obstacle sensors besides on the bottom for landing, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's an obstruction in its way, like a skyscraper, it will actually just run into it and
oh, no.
unalive itself, as the kids say. So you have to be very careful in flying in like downtown regions or places with a lot of trees, because they just run into trees if they're in the way.
Oh, gosh.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So I'm pretty much sold. But speaking of selling, what am I looking at, like, for out-of-pocket price on this thing?
Yeah, for sure. So I bought mine around the beginning of last year, 2023, for $399. I bought it refurbished,
Okay.
like straight from DJI. I thought that was a good deal, but I actually just checked eBay, and you can get this thing, just the drone itself and the controller, for about $200.
Nice.
And if you get the fly mirror combo that comes with extra batteries and stuff, you're looking at $250 to $300. So like, this thing is insanely cheap. And even though I paid $399 for it, I'm super happy I bought this and got my feet wet with it. You know, flying a drone is a bit of a learning curve, as you discovered flying it yourself a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I was able to like do risky maneuvers with the cheap one first before I buy a fancy one later this year.
Makes sense.
So yeah, in my opinion, if you're looking for a cheap drone, buy a Mini 2 used. You can't go wrong with it. And in my opinion, this is kind of the cheapest you can go until you get into like toy category.
Okay.
Like just cheap garbage that'll crash.
Right.
So yeah, if you guys are interested, I do have an eBay affiliate link in the description. Click that and I get 2%.
All right.
This guy can buy directly from me because he's standing next to me. But yeah, if you guys like this video, if it helped you, drop a like. Let me know in the comments, like, if you buy the Mini 2, let me know if you like it. Have you flown any drones before? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Did I miss anything? But yeah, that sums it up, guys. Thank you guys for watching. And thank this random guy in the street who's definitely not my dad for
Nope, definitely not. Can't tell
asking
at
me
all.
about this. So yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you next
Have a
time.
great day.